Ray, I have no idea what the camera's doing right now, but it's weirding me out. I don't know if I had something weird for lunch or what. So, welcome back for day 34, and it's an exciting day. So we're now ready for the reconstruction process. We got a little bit of demo left, but we're still semi-undecided. We don't really have a floor plan fully decided yet. So until that point, what I'm gonna do as of right now is I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna take a couple areas that I know aren't moving, and I'm just gonna add a little more function. It's gonna help us through the process of building, and hopefully help keep the place sealed up as well. So as of right now, for our security, we gotta run an extension cord outside. It leaves a window open. So I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna make sure we can seal the place up properly. We don't want any more rodents into the house. We wanna make sure that we can get a little more climate controlled. We wanna reduce as much as possible the risk of mold coming back into the house. So I'm gonna focus on sealing the place up, and I'm also gonna get a few outlets just around the house, at least one on the outside, at least one or two on the main floor, and a little something in the basement. And once that's done, we're going to be able to flow through this process a lot quicker and a lot easier. So let's get it done. Alright, so one of the plugs I plan on getting in today is this exterior one here. So this one, I'm going to remove this, I'm going to put a GFCI in, and then I'm going to check the line. When I was looking down there before, there's a junction box directly below it, and we don't really like junction boxes. You should always try and get everything direct line as much as possible. The reason for all the junction boxes here, so far as I can tell, is because of all the repair work that's happened over the years. So I'm just gonna get all this out, and then I'm gonna do my best to trace this line back after I loosen it up. I'll be glad to be done with all these slotted screws. They are a pain. So depending on where you're from, these metal boxes are either standard or everything's plastic. Usually the exterior stuff, they are all metal still. So here in Michigan, they use all plastic boxes. Where I'm from in Ontario, to my knowledge, they still use all metal boxes. When you're using the metal boxes, you ground to the box and it's just fine. So I'm going to be reusing the box, so I'll be keeping this little bracket which holds the ground wire on right about here. So I don't want to lose that. And I'm going to go in, and there's a little holding plate that holds it in such a way that it makes sure it doesn't damage or shear the line. So this piece here just clamps everything down, and we want it pretty loose. You're going to see how I do this in a sec. I might even want to, because of the awkward angle I'm coming out of on the other side, I think I want to take this right off. We'll pop that on when we're done. So it's moving somewhat freely. There's a little bit of mortar back here. Just gonna free that up. So I want to get it so this mortar is moving decently enough. So now I could be almost certain we're going to hop over to the other side here, the wall. That plug ties in to this one. I'm just going to check. I might be wrong about that. It might be. So I'm going to pop this box out and we'll see how easy that goes. This will be the first one. Depending on how easily they come out is going to dictate whether or not I'm going into the drywall or not. So just pushing on it, I can see it bends that way, which means it's mounted on this side. And these boxes are on a little offset bracket. So the stud is actually about here. So let's probe this a little bit and see how easily it comes out. All right, so I brought a few tools. I'm going to see what works best for removing this, and we'll go from there. However this goes is going to pretty much dictate how it goes with the rest. So I'm going to start by peeling this one back. Well, I actually missed a step. Oh, somebody's already been messing around with this box, so it's already kind of loose. So that's already really good. I'm able to get it like that. The box is off inside the wall. Now I just got to get the little nails out of the bracket and I can pull this box out and then we'll have access. That's why. All right. That's come out now. So we don't want to lose this wire. You just want to leave it right there. There we go. Okay. This might be, let's see. So, which way is it headed? All right, so I've now got 3 boxes uncovered, and I don't know if they are all connected, if there's a separation somewhere. I want to know where these lines are going and what they're doing. Otherwise, I have to open the drywall to know exactly what's going on and know how to route my lines. So what we've essentially got here, we got this outlet that we've just uncovered. We've got this light switches, this 3 gang of switches that's uncovered. Right out here, we've got the outside outlet that we just uncovered. And then I'm just gonna head downstairs. And we've got this junction box nearby that I believe is powering all of it. So before I do anything, I kind of want to prove that. So I've got an electrical reader, and I'm going to set it to resistance testing. That's my preferred method of checking lines. I'm going to disconnect all the lines from each other, and they're just close enough that with the equipment I have, I can reach everything and be able to check. So I'm going to go ahead and get that set up. I'm going to start with one piece in the basement. I'm going to put it up, and before I start, I'll just show you. This is, I use this for automotive work. But I have this little set here. It's very, very convenient. Everything's on gator clips and bullet connections, and it has a few different means of probing the lines. And it's very convenient because I can set up multiple, and I can check it a number of different ways, and it makes it much more efficient. So I think I got this set on Amazon for $7, and it was an excellent investment. Now, obviously, if you're working at a longer range, I mean, I'm only working, I think all these boxes together, I'll be able to reach it right from here. But typically, you know, you'd want something with a much better range in terms of distance to be able to, you know, check lines further down. I have a cordless continuity tester, but I don't have it with me. I forgot that at home. But this is going to get us through the day just fine. So, starting with this junction box down here. Take this plate off. That's strange. And it's set up kind of funky. I think this was definitely his handiwork. So I'm going to set this clip up to this red line. The red line should have been a traveler, and that seems to be the hot line. Black's heading up out of that. And I'm going to throw this up there. Very convenient spot for that hole. And we're going to hop upstairs. So next outside here, I got a straight probe. I'm going to stick that on here. I'm going to just insert that into the insulation right there. I seem to be running low on the gator clips. There we go. I'm going to poke this inside. We're going to head in. Next, got this large bit here. I'm going to disconnect all of them. Mostly pigtails. I've actually only got 3 here. I'm going to leave that. Oh, bear with me. Definitely won't be this one. Might be this one. Oh no. That one's a 3-way, so it won't be that one. Alright. Down here, we got these 3 to check. Okay. So I've got my multimeter, I'm going to set it to ohms, and it reads OL, meaning open line. So if it reads anything at all, that means there's a connection between the wires. And the lower the reading, the better. So 0 means good connection. There's 0 resistance. So I'm going to start with what I believe is my source. I'm going to connect it outside. Open line. So now we're going to see if it goes to the outlet. Open line. Open line. Open line. Open. Oh. So it's reading right here on this traveler. So that's the junction box, this red line here. So there's a black line going up and it's a red line coming out. So this one right here, this must have been power. Main power coming in. I feel like it should come from somewhere else though. It was pretty grimy down there. I'm just going to go down with the flashlight real quick and double check that wasn't a red line heading up, because that would make more sense. Alright, so I just went down and looked, and it is actually a red line down there. It's just a little darker than the rest, just like this one. So, this is the hot line coming into this box. This may have been a hot line as well, but this one was disconnected down there. Not sure entirely what was going on, but that's why we're going through everything. It'll just be irrelevant by the time we're done. So, I connected back in to the outside, and we're going to probe around, and we're going to see, we're going to go ahead and see where that outside plug is coming in. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. So, try that again. There. Oh! There we go, 0. So that is a solid connection. So this one here, that is the outside plug. And then this one here must be for the outlet. Let's see. Oh, there we go, first try. So this one goes to the outlet, and this is the hot line in, and then these two head elsewhere. So I don't know where this one heads yet. This one, let's see. So one of them definitely goes down there, and then the other one is a bit of a mystery line. We'll figure that out. Just twist these ones together for right now so they're outliers, and that's our hot coming in. So now we're going to open this up, start routing the power. Alright, so I'm going to start dismantling this one. Once it's apart, we'll start moving some lines. There we go. Nice and organized. So, to do this, because it is quite the junction right here, I am going to make an opening between the studs right about here. That way I can access to the outside outlet. I can access to this outlet, and I can access up here. And the way I'm going to do that, just a preference of mine, I like using the hole saw for making these because I wind up keeping the plugs, and I'll actually use them to patch up afterwards. So as I take these little plugs out of the wall, I'm going to set them aside and put them back in when it comes time. So we want to be probably about here, about here. This is about center of this wall cavity. I'll be able to take care of everything from right here. If I reach up, yeah, there's this wire, you can see it wiggling. I got this wire, and I got access to a little wire staple, and down here, looks like it might travel through the wall. Oh, yeah. And I got access down below for a junction box right here. So I got everything I need right here. And let's see. If I manage to get access. There's that one. And there you are, right there. I can feel it. There is my outside wire. I can actually pull a bunch of it. There it is, right there. That's probably fine, just the way it is. So, with that, and this one. There. And the other point of getting all this access is to meet code. I'm also going to have to staple them back to the wall. Ray, I have no idea what the camera's doing right now, but it's weirding me out. I don't know if I had something weird for lunch or what. So, because I'm going to activate this plug here, I want to make sure it's all wired and done, and that's fine. I'm going to run this wire here as well. And because I did see a bunch of damage on these lines, I am going to replace this line here. And I'll show you how we fish that through. It's actually not that difficult. It's kind of cool. So I'm going to get this box disconnected. And once this is disconnected, this one I won't be putting back in. I'm just going to make it a bit of a termination for right now. And I won't be hooking it up in the first box. I'm just gonna have the wire in there and with wire nuts on it. So to that second outlet, I just want the wire run. I'm not gonna be activating it in any way. In the first box, inside, it's gonna have wire nuts on it. So it's gonna be a dead line, just waiting to be run the rest of the way. And that'll give us one outlet right there. And it's a really convenient location, so I'll be able to get lots of power just in this little area. So let's get these wires routed. All right, so get this one off. And then we're going to figure out what these lines are doing. Lucky, that one came off. Ground line. Oh, there we go. This one here, this one's outgoing, this one is in. That was easy. So as I go, I'm not really labeling anything just yet, but I'm kind of pointing all the wires in the direction that I know they're coming from. So this is the one here. I don't know what it belongs to, and I want to figure that out before I put this box on, because either I'm pulling the line out or I'm leaving it dead inside the box for later use. So I'm going to hunt this one down. Once I figure this one out, then I'll be ready to get all this work done. All right, so no more messing around. I'm going to have a bit of fun tracing some of these lines. I didn't pack anything wireless, and I'm going to want something on the project anyway. So I went and found out of the audio wire that was used throughout the project, or lamp cord, whatever you want to call it, that the previous homeowner used all over the place. I found a run with no damage in it, and I got about 25 feet of extension cord that I'm going to hook up to my meter, and I'm going to use that to try and hunt down some of these lines. All right, so the bullet connections I got fit right into here, so I got that end. And I'm going to just connect these gators together. Now, kind of mobile, get this other end. So now I can just run around and try and find where it leads to. So this one appears to go up the wall, and I have a feeling maybe it goes up the wall to go around, and I'm going to check the outlet over there because the main power comes into this outlet, and odds are they kept all the outlets in this room in the same circuit. So I'm going to start with those, and we'll see. Hopefully it's just in the next one that I check. So the next one, I believe, might be this one right here. So we're going to come over, check that. That one. Oh, here it is. This line right here. This is the one that connects in. So I was right. It goes up the door, around, and from here, there's another line that heads elsewhere. So we're not going to be replacing this line just yet, but I can tie this in from another way. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this line for right now and leave it back there. I'll be able to pull it up when I get to that spot. So we're good to go now. So as long as I've got the extension cord and I've got everything ready to go, I'm going to finish tracing out this entire circuit, and I'm going to get it all mapped out. So eventually I have to do it on the entire house, because this line here, I actually just traced it off camera just to see, because you can see it doesn't really have anywhere to go here. So I traced it back to this line, and from this line it comes down here and probably comes over here. And what that means for me is that fishing lines through the wall like that can become incredibly difficult, just because when you go up a wall and then through, you know, you can take a corner, you can do all kinds of things, fishing lines, you know, with some pretty unique methods, but as soon as it goes into a cavity and up or down, it's likely stapled into the wall. So unless I'm going to be drilling a whole bunch of holes into the wall, it'd be nice to check and see if the lines are good. So I just got off the phone with the same electrician who was here before, Phil. He's very competent, very good at what he does. And I asked him, and he said he's willing to come in for a little bit and check some of these lines. So especially the ones that are difficult to trace out, we're gonna go in and we're gonna use a special piece of equipment, and we'll do a full video probably on that when we get to it, demonstrating how professional electricians come in and they can actually inspect your lines to see if they're good. There's no burning, the insulation's good, and everything's fine on it. So if that's not the case, obviously I gotta replace the line. But knowing which lines I have to replace minimizes the amount of damage I have to do in the house. So we'll get to that when we get to that, but for right now I'm gonna finish tracing out the circuit, and then we're just gonna replace this little section, and anything we can rely on visual testing, the conventional methods, we're going to do that for right now. This is a very small area that we're working in at the moment, so it's very easy to check everything and make sure it's good to go. So let's get this done, and I don't know, maybe get something else done today too. We'll see. All right, so we're going to start down in the basement here. I'm going to get the main line up, and we're going to take down the old lines as we go. That we know what we're taking down, and we know where they're going to and where they're coming from. So let's get started with that, because it's a bit of a cluster down here. It might take a little bit for me to figure out what's going on. There's a lot of junction boxes, and a lot of the stuff is not routed properly. So I've obviously got to trace all this out and figure out where it's going to, where it's coming from, before I decide to salvage anything. And before I'm done, I'm going to have every single wire accounted for, because I can't have dead lines in the wall, and I can't have anything, obviously, that, you know, is, Ray, take that part out. And there's really no excuse to have any junction boxes in the entire property. So we're going to be getting this all done, getting it done to code, and making sure the place is safe. So starting here at the junction box, we want to follow this line. It goes over the beam. There it is there. Keeps going. And there it is there. And like so. Then, not sure if you could see that. The one wiggling is this one here, which goes into this junction box, and that's not where it belongs, because this is also feeding, as I recall, this line here is feeding the electric water heater. Yeah, that is way too much on that circuit. So let's just start right there. So that line's done. given it wasn't properly installed to begin with, I can guarantee you this was a total afterthought. So let's go ahead and just pull that. So this was put in with drywall screws, also not an indication of professional work. And you'll notice none of the Romex insulation actually made it through this hole. That's not really proper either. They were working with barely enough line. And I gotta double check, but I'm pretty sure you can't have a box directly against there and nothing clamping it in. The clamp was not done. This should have been out and stapled and then into the box. I'm pretty sure. Not 100% on that one, but I know nothing about that was done properly. So, let's get a new line. We're going to route it to here, and I'm going to show you how we're going to fish it up through the wall. So before I do that though, I just noticed, so we got this outlet here, which I'm assuming was originally running the water pump down below, and it comes in, goes through the wall there. Ouch. And it goes immediately to a junction box with two lines coming out of it. So one is a 10-2, which is the proper gauge for a water heater, and the other is a regular 14 gauge, which is typical for your 15 amp circuits. And the 15 amp goes back into the wall right there and feeds the sump pump, which I want to liven up faster than not, because the sump pit is full of water, meaning I do want to drain it. And then this line here is the water heater, or not the water heater, sorry, the water pump. And it goes through to another junction and then comes out the other side on a really burnt out 12 gauge line, which goes all the way back to the panel. So I'm not currently using that line, but I'm going to remove that right now as well. And I'm going to finish these holes all the way through, and I'm going to put another one right beside it down, and I'm going to have two runs of lines, and I'm going to have the sump pit, the water pump, and the circuit we're working on right now properly run. So let's go ahead and get that started. I'm just going to go ahead and kill this line and pull it through. When I run the water pump, it's going to be a direct line. I'm not going to have it on an outlet. And I'm saving all this burnt out cord for its scrap value, because it does have some.